Hello everyone, welcome to supplychainway.com. Today we are going to discuss about PFEP and DFEP. So PFEP stands for Plan for Every Part and DFEP stands for Design for Every Part. So both PFEP and DFEP are used in a manufacturing sector. To be very specific, these are used in manufacturing logistics. So let's see how to build these and implement them. Okay, so now before going into the details, starting with the DFEP and PFEP, both are called the crux of manufacturing logistics, or they are the backbone of manufacturing logistics. Everything what happens in manufacturing logistics revolves around these two of them, that is the design for every part and plan for every part. If you have not seen the prerequisite videos, down to this video I have just given the links for those videos. I would request you to go through that and then come and listen to this video so that you will get the continuity in terms of the topics and the content. Great. So let's start with first plan for every part, and then I'm going to explain you what is design for every part. So the PFEP is done in three portions. Number one is the supplier, number two is the manufacturing warehouse, and number three is the point of use. Okay, now let's take one by one. So when you have to document and implement this PFEP, the first foremost decision you have to take whether I need a tool or can I build it in an Excel sheet. A general suggestion what I can give you is, if you don't have a complex set of parts, when I say complex, you have a parts which is greater than say 10,000. Okay, it is very easy to build this in an Excel itself, and what matters is all the content you put inside and not the tool in itself. But if you are facing a situation where you have 500 plus suppliers, you have more than 10,000 parts, okay, in that case it is always to have a tool to build a plan for every part. Okay, so now I talked about the three portions within the PFEP: the supplier, the manufacturing warehouse, and the point of use. So let's start with the supplier. So when you start building this PFEP, you start with your supplier in terms of who is the supplier, where is he located, the part he is supplying, okay, and how these parts are stored, in the sense how this parts comes in, what is the type of containers it's been used, how many parts get into these containers, how these parts are loaded in the truck, in what way it has been stacked or it is kept only in floor, does it has an external packing. All this information related to the product has to be documented, and each one what I have explained so makes one column in your Excel, and that would complete in terms of your supplier portion. Once this is done, then the material comes to your manufacturing warehouse, right? So manufacturing warehouse is the small storage within the manufacturing facility, which from there will feed to the line. So within the manufacturing warehouse, we start with unloading. So when you're unloading, now you start documenting also what are all the material handling equipments being used for that particular part. Okay, so how it is unloaded, what kind of equipment you are using, how many people are used in that unloading, right? And then from there, whether you are going to use the same storage containers which the supplier has given, or you are actually transforming, decanting and moving into a separate, that is also have to be documented there. And then you document from there, it is stored in which manufacturing warehouse location, specific location within that warehouse has to be documented in that, right? So two portions are done, the supplier and the manufacturing warehouse. One exception could be there are few parts which goes as a buy strategy, directly it moves to the line, that is called the just-in-time parts. Okay, so we discuss about just-in-time supermarkets and different line supply strategies differently, because that content is really high. I will discuss about this on a different video. This is fully focused on building a PFEP. Okay, so now after the manufacturing warehouse, from there this parts goes to the point of use. It is POU, right? Point of use is basically the place where this part is going to get fixed onto that in the assembly line. The product keeps moving, people are working on an assembly line. This part will be used on a specific point of use. Okay, so from the manufacturing warehouse, this part actually moves into the point of use. So that is what is captured on your POU, third portion. So what you will do, you will capture how the part is retrieved from the storage, what equipments are used, and how it is moved. Is it again in the same container it is presented to the line, or you are going to shift it to a different container? Okay, so that also has to be documented. What is the quantity? How many quantity is being moved from the to the line, and then which location it is exactly presented in the line. Meaning, if you see an assembly line, it is a huge floor. Each location of the part which is stored near to the line is called the line side storages. Okay, so this part from the storage location in manufacturing warehouse, it moves to the point of use, which again has a specific ID. All this information will be documented in the PFEP. Now, so this completes your PFEP. Then you may ask, now what is the design for every part? So the design for every part, basically it takes care of designing those right size storage containers throughout this supply chain, which I have just discussed, right from supplier, manufacturing, storage, and then coming to the point of use. The design for every part also talks about the line supply strategies and also the inventory strategies, which is part of this. Okay, so now if you add these three, so the design comes first, where you decide on all these strategies, whether I want to store the part or not. If I'm what is the number of days of stock I need to do, I need to keep in my warehouse, in what way I am going to supply this to the line. All these decisions comes under design for every part, and then rest of the documentation and implementation will come on your PFEP. Okay, and DFEP and PFEP are so important in a manufacturing logistics and in a manufacturing shop floor, because a good implementation of PFEP will impact the efficiency in inventory, efficiency in material handling, efficiency in storage, and efficiency in overall manufacturing logistics, and very crucial, efficiency in manufacturing itself, because unless the product is available at the right time, the manufacturing line is going to come to a halt. And the numbers what we are talking about is huge. A well implemented PFEP can get in almost 30 to 40% of channel inventory savings, at least 25 to 30% of productivity improvement. It can give you 100% product availability, such that the line is not coming to a halt. Pretty exciting numbers, isn't it? Yes, that powerful tool is this. So go back, try to work this out, and if you have any clarifications, if you have any follow-up questions, you can always come back to me with your clarifications. Okay, thank you so much for watching.